Привет, друзья! Выходной день супертурнира Левитов Chess Classic. Прошел турнир по довольно необычной и зрелищной игре Hand and Brain. Рука и мозг. Соответственно, игроки делятся на команды по 2 человека в каждой. Один игрок является рукой, второй игрок является мозгом. Идея в том, что мозг называет фигуры, которые нужно походить. А рука не знает точно, что нужно сделать. И ей приходится самой решать, какую фигуру и куда поставить. Допустим, непомнящий говорит конь. И свидеру нужно решить коня g1 поставить на h3 или коня с b1 поставить на a3. Так как у игроков могут быть разные идеи на уме, получается довольно эффектное зрелище, которое в последнее время привлекло немало внимания, завоевывает популярность. И в том числе наш турнир, естественно, не стал исключением в плане какого-то экшена. Турнир посетила Юдит Полгар, которая была ведущей, арбитром и комментатором заодно. Так что я рад поделиться с вами этим зрелищем и надеюсь, вам понравится. Мне, я присутствовал в зале, очень даже понравилось.
So we are starting, yeah? Okay, let me make like an official start. Hello, everybody. We are on Levitov Chess channel, Levitov YouTube channel. I'm doing this the first time I'm doing this in English, but I have a huge support today to broadcast the event and to make commentary. I'm here with Judith Polgar, our everything in chess. Judith, of course, you can talk for hours about Judith, about all you've achieved. Judith, it's a great honor for me. It's a great pleasure for me. I'm your fan. And you are extremely popular in Russia, extremely popular. And whenever I do a video with a chess player, then one of the first comments is do this with Judith, do this with Judith. So finally we're doing something with you on our channel, and I'm very, very happy that you are joining us. Thank you very much. And
knowing him, like
hello everybody, and thank you very much for inviting me for this fun entertainment part. And I hope that it's not only us who is going to have a lot of fun, also the players and obviously our audience. And we have the game running already, the first game.
Yes.
We are going to have 2 semifinals, and this game is the first semifinal between Nepomniachtchi, Mamedyarov playing on the white side, and on the black side it's Dubov versus Svidler. You can see that they are really having fun and enjoying.
Yes, yes. Unfortunately, we cannot like clearly hear what they're saying, but the most important thing is yes, they're having fun, and also I will just quickly mention we will have one game, 8 minutes plus 2 seconds per game for each team. Then we'll have this. If it's a draw, there will be one Armageddon game, 5 against 4. So then the second semi-final, and then the final will consist of 2 games with the same time control, right?
Exactly. And what we've seen, it started with d4. It's a King's Indian. And what we have to understand the system is that one of the player is, in this case, with white, I think Nepomniachtchi is the player who tells which piece to make a move, and then his partner Mamedyarov is making the move. So, for example,
doesn't matter where
if
the
the player says knight, then white has to be choosing which way to go with the knight out of the possibilities. So what we see, it's knight c3 was played, and b5 rook is attacked heavily. So there is a pawn sacrifice made by black, by Dubov, telling which piece to play, and Svidler is the hand. He's executing it.
I think they're prepared.
That was
absolutely. I think the players have their strategy.
Yeah. Because Dubov Svidler, I will like make it public. They were the only 2 guys who came to me and said that they want to play together.
I don't know. I hope we are going to have someone from the teams in the studio, and we can ask what are the difficulties in this kind of play and what are the pluses. I think it should be good or beneficial if you know each other, so you know how the other one works. It's not only about being an extremely good player, because sometimes you can choose between a positional way of doing and approaching the position or very tactical.
okay. Merciful Lord.
Yeah, but also I think we formed the perfect team. So Dubov Svidler, they wanted to play together. They're friends. They maybe work with each other. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Nepo and Mamedyarov has kind of similar style of playing, approach to chess, very attacking, not afraid of calculating a lot and doing some nasty stuff. So Kramnik and Grishuk, that's the classical part of our tournament, yeah, the classics of modern chess. And Levon will play with So. I don't know what's their connection, except for they live in the same country.
But now
still,
you
it's
can
the US
see
team.
that Nepomniachtchi and Mamedyarov, they do play in their own style. They don't change their style. They want to go straight forward.
Yeah.
And look at that, Black may be in trouble already, because definitely there is not much of an option to go away with the knight, right?
Oh, we are
Yes.
both thinking, yeah. I mean,
Where?
if I will say knight, it will not
H5?
be fun.
Knight H5? Knight H5 doesn't look good.
Not
Yeah.
that
G4 and
As Dubov already
Yeah.
said that it's knight, but this is not a big surprise that he said that, because if Black would be taking on E5, White goes, he takes D5, and then the bishop would be in big trouble
Yeah.
if the knight moves away. So let's see what Black has in mind.
What did he say? He said knight?
Well, he said knight, but we are both thinking. Well, of course, they are both thinking because maybe they are in trouble.
Not the
That's the
case.
big trouble. So probably knight h5 is something to play, but after knight g5, for the moment, I think g4 does not work because of queen f3.
Active knight leads to losing a knight.
But now they are discussing already that they are going to be losing a knight.
Yeah,
That would be
yeah,
not
yeah.
fun at all for Black.
Надо уже подумать.
Peter is thinking. Jan is saying, yeah, you have to think a bit about that.
Okay, knight, sure.
No, he only said that
Yeah, really
now.
want to take
Ah,
Yeah, so
okay.
they're both
Doesn't work
thinking.
for too many reasons.
It's
Yes,
a smart
because-
strategy, yeah?
Wasn't one, unfortunately.
Yeah, but obviously they were both thinking already
Yeah,
in this
yeah, yeah.
situation,
Yeah,
even
yeah,
though
yeah.
the Dubov
No,
was
I
not
thought
saying
that
it.
Daniel already said knight, so no.
Yes,
he was
that's what I
thinking.
thought also.
Like FG works, Queen C1 works, everything works. Yeah.
It's funny that they are still discussing what other moves were the possibilities, because they seem to think that we have so much time left on the clock that we can even analyze during the game.
And they're not, yeah? They will be in time trouble soon.
Well, for now it seems that I don't know if it's time trouble or board trouble.
Board trouble. Yeah, Black is in danger, yeah?
I don't know. Of course, White can be thinking right now a knight d5. I think this is what they are thinking of because it's attacking the rook, attacking on e7. I would believe that Black would capture the rook, and then after queen b4, maybe queen a2. White king still did not castle, but White should be better, I believe. Or
Knight?
yes, and he said knight. He said knight.
So it's
I wanted to
95
say rook
without.
piece,
No,
without
no. Stop. No, that's illegal. Please,
What?
2 minutes for us.
Jan is,
The audience.
Jan is arguing that Daniel said something?
No, I think someone from the audience said something that maybe rook was a better.
Okay.
Oh,
So what's happening?
probably something
But they
against the
wanted
rules.
to, yeah, let's do this again. I mean,
What
And then
happened?
the players complained, and then they get an extra minute.
He said the move?
No
He said the
matter,
exact
no
move?
matter how much you want to make it loose and friendly and so on, there is no
Ruka
way
пошла
the
сама.
players are out of the competitiveness.
Yeah?
They are always
That's inside the chess
competitive.
player, yeah?
Well, that's who we are.
That's who you are, yeah. I understand.
Where have
Okay.
you seen any calls?
Okay, but I will still try to make it fun.
Exactly.
Fighting against the nature.
2 times.
So let's.
Forfeit, at least 2 times.
Yeah, Daniel is probably saying the move.
No, you wanted 2 minutes, so you get 2 minutes.
Well, it's interesting that suddenly the players have extra minute, then an extra 2 minutes. So White has already 7 minutes. Black is under 5 minutes.
7 minutes, yeah.
But I think it's nice to see that all the other
Queen
players.
takes d5 is like that stupid, but okay,
No,
now
I think
will
that
say
everything is going very well, but I'm not sure. I think Daniel is saying the moves.
Yeah, that's exactly.
That
He's
is
not
completely
naming
illegal
the
to
piece,
play.
and the white played b3, I think.
Okay, bishop
It's
c4
in
was
red.
wrong, yeah? Okay,
so
let's
they
go
played
rook, yeah,
b3.
sure.
Okay, so after knight d5, Black went
Let's
to
stop this now,
a4,
Peter. Yeah, I
b3.
mean, okay, like, I like playing with odds, but you know, enough is enough.
Yeah, rook a3.
You know, like in Soviet times, sit on your hands. Like that's what we've been told back then. Okay, now you get angry and crush me.
Yes.
Yes or no?
Also yes.
Also yes.
Also yes.
Yeah.
But yes or no?
Okay, so black has a great blockade on a3. The only problem is there is one pawn down already, which was sacrificed, and also there is another check
If they go
taking
knight
on
takes e7, can I
e7.
make a move without
But
them saying it?
after knight e7, obviously no need to say which is the move.
Yes.
And then maybe white can get in trouble with the uncastled king in the middle.
Can you play knight c7?
Unclear.
Yes, I just hear that
I'll
people are
say any
telling
move.
it's unclear, it's unclear, it's unclear.
It's unclear.
Yeah, knight c7, of course, is possible, but what about queen b7? Then black tries to go rook c8. Still, white did not castle, so there can be some,
Some
great
tricks,
counter
yeah?
chances for black.
Okay.
So
What is
bishop
the play?
c4.
Bishop c4,
Saying
okay.
the word before Peter
Okay.
plays the move, yeah? I don't even care too much, but I said pawn, yeah, okay.
I know, yeah. But
Yeah.
So black's at pawn at this
know he doesn't
point.
have
Both
it.
are hanging there. So this is typical that chess players, they go much more
Oh,
for the
elimination process,
initiative,
yeah, I mean, why-
development,
Yeah.
attack. Then to grab pawns, and then you can be in trouble. It's about time,
Yeah,
right?
but if you-
Chess also.
But how do you
something
define sometimes you develop pieces and the initiative has gone and there are no pawns to eat anymore. So
Well, the thing
Yeah,
is
not
that the
also
knight
splitting,
stands extremely well on
Yeah,
d5, right?
yeah.
So, and we also say that threat is much more unpleasant than the execution.
Yeah.
So the threat is right there, playing knight e7 or knight c7, bishop having on c4, great developing move, castle in the next move, then white would
And then
have a
we'll see,
huge
yeah.
advantage. So the question is, it's a momentum,
Okay, queen,
whether
I'm pretty
black
sure.
can pose any problem for white until white can castle.
okay. E6, I think they played knight c7. Yeah, knight c7 and very quickly and easily Dubov said queen.
Well, no
That's an easy
surprise
part.
on that.
What's the hardest
Roy.
part here? What's the which part of the job you think is the hardest one to tell the moves or to make them?
I think maybe to make them, because you continuously have to make decisions.
Okay.
At the same time, your responsibility is which piece to make a move. And
Yeah.
most of the game, obviously, when we talk about such a great players, they know with what they
Playing
want to
kings, yeah,
play.
Okay.
So it's not such a big difficulty. At the same time, when they say pawn, which one to move, right? So it's your responsibility to make. So what I'm very curious, how many arguments it's going to be after the game. That when I said pawn, I wanted obviously the other one, and you pushed the other.
the time difference is scary. They have
You've
almost
been told already
6 minutes and a half, and Dubov and Svidler has only 2.5 minutes.
Well,
For
right
hand and
now-
brain, it's very important.
Queen
Oh,
d8.
queen
So what
d8.
can be the reason black went to d8? I
Ah,
believe,
queen h4.
of course, e takes d6. Well, bishop. Bishop c6.
What is bishop c6? Why? Ah, he played bishop c6.
He played bishop c6.
Why not queen
Well-
queen h4?
Well, the reason is because if after takes queen h4, white is just going bishop f2. I believe so. Bishop
I have
c6.
nothing, yeah.
Black really tries to get the d6, and then the knight maybe can get in trouble on c7.
Yeah.
So now the question
Now
is
is
whether.
important moment for Jan here to make a decision what they do. Because before that the moves were
For example, queen b4 is an interesting move, but that
b4.
was not played. He just played d5.
Okay, bishop.
Look at that.
d5.
Very straightforward.
They want to
In the
attack.
game,
Yeah.
But the players are getting more serious. I see.
Yeah, they are getting more serious. But it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, bishop d5. So right now, white has 3 extra pawns in this position. Black is in huge trouble, I believe, unless something very concrete can happen, some
Yeah.
tricky move.
Rook is nowhere, knight is nowhere, yeah?
Well, the problem is if white will castle, game is absolutely over. I'm not even sure whether they're going to be playing on for long. If white reaches out to castle and puts safe to his king, or their king,
Yeah.
moreover.
So now it's white's move, yeah?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
both are very tempting, actually. Knight d5, also queen d5. Because with queen d5, you also keep your pawn on d6. But obviously, black is going to have to give a check on h4. And this is something to calculate. And especially, it is a smart thing for white to think. Because, well, at this point, I think Nepo who is thinking which one to call out. and he just sat queen because they have double of the time. So obviously, if you're smart, you use it in crucial moments.
No, for sure, for sure. Also, if the time comes to 1 minute, only one player stays. So, yeah, Shahryar will stay as well as Peter. So they need to spend their time.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, it doesn't make any
Absolutely.
sense. Yeah.
So now
We start
the
running over the years.
queen exchange
We
is
start running over the years. Yeah, if you would
A
say.
little bit, yeah.
Starts running of queens.
well. The problem is black's only square
Yeah,
is
okay,
B8 or B8 to avoid
B7 or B8, yeah?
exchange. Yeah. Which is not a very healthy thing for black because in the next
Yeah,
move
exactly.
there will be castle on the board. So I would put my bet on the white side team, which
Yeah,
I
me
don't
too.
have to be
First-
too
first- no, no,
smart
no.
for that one.
Then
I
the rook.
think. As we heard, king first and then
Yes.
rook.
Good?
Yes,
Good enough.
yes. The players know the rules, how they should do it, because it would be great mistake
because
not to
they're very
make
good
castle.
players.
Yes. And they don't want to do mistakes at this point of the game.
Okay. Yeah. So
Okay, rook.
devastating position, really.
Feels like we're being outplayed. Maybe not.
Maybe not completely, I would argue with that. But of course, the fighting spirit is there, and black is still hoping that maybe the white side, Nepomniachtchi and Mamedyarov, will take it easy and enjoying it too much, and they think the point is already there, and they are in the final then.
Yeah.
Trying to make
But it's
it
not going to be
one
so
way.
easy, maybe, no?
Well, at this level, it should be easy, but if you take it too easy, you can always make a blunder, right? Especially if they go down in time, let's say. Then it could be some.
Я не понимаю, просто.
Shahryar started talking. That's the first time it happened
Что ты хочешь?
during the tournament.
Yeah.
Not only today.
Then rook.
Rook. So what will be the rook move for white? Rook e7 is kind of a very tempting move. But also you can go rook d2 to strengthen your, of
Yeah, rook
course.
e7, of course,
I
rook
mean,
e7.
for this team,
For this
Nepo
team,
Ermame, I mean,
there were
come
no
on.
other moves. Yeah, there were no other moves.
Yeah, there is no other
Work
moves.
our time.
To tie down the knight on f6, because on f7 there would be checkmate. So they want to stop all the active moves for black. Look at this poor queen. There is no space at all. No active space for the queen. This is a big problem.
That's
Let's say the
that's
queen
what
would
they're
come to
showing
d3.
now, yeah.
That would be something. So
What did
queen
they play?
c8.
Queen c8. Whoa.
Queen c8. So there is a pin right here. Well, technique is something very important in chess. For example, bishop d4.
No,
I
bravo.
think quite unpleasant, I must say. And probably black will go
Okay, rook.
g5.
Can I pretend that rook d7
But
protects f7? So
No.
that
White
it
has
ends?
played
Okay.
They won't
queen
trust you.
b4.
Queen
No, I
d4.
want you like
Show
it's
your
only
technique.
14 more seconds, and you
Well, this
then you
rook is
can
in
do it on your
trouble.
own, yeah.
Yeah. Should go
But
to
it can
a7
a6.
blocked, a6 blocked, a5
a6,
blocked.
it's blocked, but this is
Very
also
tight.
hanging in return.
Yeah.
But
The
then
moment it
queen
goes
at
59 seconds,
c4
I'm
would
resigning.
be.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
This is
The final blow, probably. Yeah. What?
Finally, I think.
All right,
Ah, so
rook.
after all, it was bishop
I'm gonna
queen
pretend it has
c4
squares.
instead. Bishop
We'll
c5.
continue pretending it has squares.
Well, nasty things happen to black.
And now b5.
White is
now
pushing.
it's,
Not
it's
enough
absolute-
that you have one passed pawn. They want to show off with another
Yeah.
passed pawn.
No, I'm saying rook.
That's
in
that's
every
unfair.
single time.
Very unfair game. Very unfair. But black played really poor game. Really
Sort of,
poor.
yes.
Well, it can happen to all
Like,
of
Yeah.
if
us.
things change,
Some
I
bad
will,
decisions,
yeah.
and this is what you
Maybe
get.
they're late for the
I'll try.
dinner or something, or for lunch. Maybe they're hungry. I don't know. So just Vishy refused to play, but still came.
Yeah.
Okay, queen, let's go.
b4.
Let's
Go.
One
Let's
extra.
go, Dubovsad. Let's
We
go.
created a
You see?
yeah.
It's like a lion. It has a little niche and then goes out.
Yeah.
Not for very long.
Bloody
though.
hell, yeah, like queen
Not
d5.
for very long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, one of the few active moves they could play, and both
Yeah.
players are a very active
Can we
player
don't-
also.
can we don't
Yeah,
have
of course,
squares,
of
maybe?
course.
Okay, sure,
Yeah.
yeah.
Rookie
I'm
2,
going.
what a nasty move. Just a very simple.
No, it's
Wow,
But
this
I
is a
can go now
painful
and like
move.
he decides
No, it's a very serious team. Nepo with.
So look at how they're fighting. They want to get rid of this bishop and maybe from d4 to bring this bishop g7. Look the contingencies.
Any side gets 1 minute, it's 1-on-1.
But look at that. Look at that. Now it's 1-on-1 because one
Yes.
of the teams, Black, Dubov's Fiddler team, went under a minute. So the rule is that the hand
not sure I'm
takes
helping.
over. And let's see if the teams are going to be disturbing the player.
Of course. Otherwise, why are we all here?
So now after knight d7, 1-on-1.
Now he has to make decisions by himself.
Look how insecure Mamedyarov,
yeah.
checking with the boss, Nepo. Are you sure I'm doing well? Taking on a5.
Maybe we can finish the whole tournament like this, playing every day hand and brain. It's so much fun. And they're having fun.
But look at this. Look at this bishop.
Yeah.
You never know when it shows up.
Yeah.
If it can show up on d4, some nervous seconds can be for white.
Yeah.
But it's not there yet. Look at that, queen d3. I
queen
love this
D3.
move. I love this move.
Oh,
White
bishop
cannot take
D4.
on c5 because bishop
Brief,
d4.
deeply. Nothing wrong.
You see? Nepo is
Peter
worried.
started to make traps. That's his
Yeah.
main weapon in chess. So.
I told you, the g7 bishop in
Yeah,
the King's
yeah, yeah.
Indian.
Yeah, okay.
Never underestimate
Oops,
it.
and then resigned.
What happened?
and then resigned.
No, second game. Second game in 1 hour.
because the pawn just marshes. Yeah.
Yes,
so-
the problem is rook d2, and now black has no space.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was a
This
fun
was
game.
easy, but this was easy for white, I think.
Yes, well, in a blitz game or a kind of a rapid game, and of course the players are not used to this kind of format. It's basically
Yeah.
a fun format to enjoy the game and see how the players are playing in pair with together, and how much they understand each other.
No, I think but Nepo Shach is a great team. It's a great team. I mean, they played a beautiful, very solid game and very quickly as well. So I think it's a very good team.
But it was also interesting to see that they played, of course, extremely active, the way Dubov and Svidler plays all the time. And Svidler plays the Grunfeld. It's all
Yeah.
about activity, right?
Yeah.
So it was no surprise that we've seen b5, and then shortly after that there was a pawn sacrifice.
Okay.
But of course you have to be very careful. How do you sacrifice pawns, especially if you play against very strong players like Nepomniachtchi and Mamedyarov,
yeah.
right? So it was a fun warm-up. This was semi-final first match.
Yes.
And in the second match we are going to see another pair. But before that we are going to have as guest from the black team.
Oh. Peter, you coming here? Fantastic.
So welcome in the studio, and we had quite some fun, but we had the feeling that you guys had also some fun until a certain point.
Yeah, I was. I think this could have been slightly more fun for our side if Daniel didn't decide to gamble just this early. You know, it's.
So which was the gambling moment? Can you...
Well, I played some King's Indian in my youth. I don't know if Daniel played any, but like after Rook C1, you're supposed to wait for a bit. You're not really supposed to start punching pawns left and right.
B5.
Yeah, but I was told pawn, and I mean you can play E6, but he clearly wanted to play B5, and I thought,
Okay,
if
so
I-
you know each other so well.
Yeah, it feels like I know what he intends here, and also E6 is not a great move, or I don't know H5 or whatever. Like I don't really have very good pawn moves. I don't want to play E5 yet. We're clearly like this type of a structure. If we want to go technical, we like E5. You have to have some tactical justification, otherwise you will be much worse. You as a King's Indian player will know this more than most. E6 is a waiting move, but it's just like you burn a tempo, you make your position worse, arguably.
But you did not believe in B5.
Not really, but it's in the spirit, right? If the hand kind of knows what the brain wants, you're supposed to trust your brain to provide you with a justification later. But there really isn't very much justification. It's just a very, very healthy pawn, and things kind of went downhill from there because I don't know how you're supposed to, pretend you have compensation here. I guess Rook B4 was the final mistake. I was trying to be clever after Knight C3. Like if we go Rook B, I guess B8. My issue was, I wanted, like B7 is the most natural square, I think. But then white does have e5, and you have to
Yeah,
go
and you
back
don't
to
have
e8.
knight e5.
Yeah, I want to have knight e5 as a reply. And I also, of course, wanted to stop rook c4, or sorry, bishop c4. So I thought I'll play rook b4, I'll wait for a3, and then I'll put it somewhere. And then maybe I've created, you know, a little bit of a hook on the queen side, because I think in general, white would much rather have pawns on a2 and b3 here rather than b2 and a3. Once again, like completely irrelevant consideration. And then rook b4, and Jan says pawn, clearly meaning a3. It was very, very obvious that he
Wow.
meant a3.
Wow.
He pretty much said so.
Okay, but when you're playing with Mamedyarov, there's no question.
Yeah.
It's going to be e5.
Yeah, and Shah kind of nods and goes e5, and I think to myself, oh dear, you know, oh dear, because I can no longer play 95 here, and whichever
Yeah.
square I choose is going to be quite horrible. Yeah, I think knight h5 in particular, like in the spirit of this event, like you're not really supposed to try hard and like defend a bad position horribly. Knight h5 is sort of more fun, so I played knight h5, knight d5. I think rook a4 is logical, just to attack something.
It's interesting what you're saying, that first of all, you wanted to play b5 because you knew that your partner wants to play that, so you wanted to go on his direction. Interesting decision. And then later on, it's also interesting what you're saying, that at the point when white played e5, you think and consider that the partner, the brain, wanted to play a3, and the
I
other
think Jan
one
even said
took
as
over.
much. Yeah, it wasn't just my feeling. I think Jan at some point said.
After
yeah,
that, he said that
Yeah,
this was
yeah.
not what he meant.
Yeah, he meant a3 bishop c4,
Yeah.
which is also very strong.
Which is also
yeah,
quite
also gives
a
white huge
reasonable
advantage, yeah.
idea, right? Because bishop on c4 and
It's
castling, that's
fantastic,
kind
yeah.
of the
No,
safe
it's-
side.
Yeah, it's just a bad position for black.
So
And-
were you happy when you met e5 that it becomes tactical, but
In a way,
pretty
I mean, the
bad?
position is bad, but it gets sharper. So in
Yeah.
a way, it's an improvement. I think where we kind of lost the game was I got a bit flustered, and I made 2 moves before Daniel telling me anything, and we got penalized. But the problem wasn't.
what
that-
was going on there?
Well, I mean,
What was a double penalization?
Well, because I just kind of lost my head for a bit. It wasn't intentional. Like it made for a kind of a funny bit because they were asking for a 2-minute penalty,
Yeah.
and the arbiter told them it's always 1 minute.
Yeah.
And then we sort of discussed that we can sort of do it twice so that they get their 2 minutes. If they really want their 2 minutes, they can get.
Okay,
But
so
I
you
wasn't.
made
But I wasn't
extreme
actually.
fair
yeah,
play.
but I wasn't actually trying to do that. I played rook a4, which I think is correct, but I played it without Daniel telling me rook.
okay.
So they got a minute for
Okay.
that. And then after b3, I think this is where we finally completely lost the game because Daniel was planning to play queen takes d5 here.
Okay.
And I touched the rook already
Oh.
before he even said anything. And then when it got back to us, he said rook because he thought, okay, if I want to move the rook so badly,
Okay.
let Peter move
So
the
you think
rook.
queen d5 was better?
Queen d5 maybe gives us a way to
So
play,
there was
play the game for
a
a bit
misunderstanding
longer.
with you.
Yeah, no,
That,
I was a very untrustworthy hand in this particular
So did you ever
interaction.
play these kind of hand and brain
Yeah,
games?
but
not
se-
under pressure.
Yeah, not under such severe pressure as this. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean the position remains bad after queen d5, but it's maybe less bad than what we got. BA,
Yeah,
maybe
I see.
even we throw in bishop takes a4, but it's still like bishop c4 here
Probably
is
bishop
very
c4
strong.
first
Yeah,
and
like
moving
queen
away.
a8, and then we take on e5 next move. It's still bad, but it's
Yeah, but at
it's-
least you get one pawn
yeah,
in
yeah,
return,
it's
right?
better. It's better than what we got in the game, which was I think completely hopeless.
Yeah.
Yeah, after rook a3, bishop c4. Yeah, it's I don't really see a way back, and I also yeah, bishop c4 here. Maybe Daniel meant d takes e5.
But I
here.
think at this point, for not such a strong players, it was a temptation to go after knight a3 to grab one of the pawns, right?
Yeah,
But that would be a mistake.
I suspect it's still very strong, but yeah, bishop c4 is stronger because it preserves all the threats while developing, while getting white one move closer to castling, which will effectively end the game because the only thing we have going for us here as black is the king in the center. The moment it gets
Yeah.
to g1, the game ends pretty much.
Yeah,
so
this is what we were discussing
Yeah.
during the game.
So yeah,
that
bishop c4
basically-
was a classy touch,
Yeah.
and yeah, I guess my e6 move here isn't good, but like d5 is not really an improvement anyway. I thought like if Daniel means d5, I don't really understand what the follow-up is. Like we take on e5, they take on e5. Now the
Yeah.
bishop on d7 is also hanging
Yeah.
because the queen is connecting to it. Bishop c5 becomes a kind of a pretty unpleasant threat as well, attacking
Exactly.
everything. So I couldn't really see what the point of that was, but the problem is e6 also is just completely lost. It's
Okay,
resignable, really.
so let's forget about
Yeah,
this
yeah,
game.
enough.
You had a few minutes of
Yeah.
fun, and at the end, it didn't turn out the way you wanted. So, which game we are going to see next? The next
So
semi-final.
Sasha is the hand with Vladi as the brain against Wesley and
Aronyan,
and
but
Lev.
we don't see who
We
is
don't-
the
yeah, we
hand and who is the brain. What do you think? Which one would fit better in that team?
looks like Wesley is dictating the action and Lev is going to be playing.
I was wondering sometimes, that this format of chess called hand and brain, but I would believe that actually it's two brain, and the brain who we call brain, it's brain, but actually the hand is more of a brain than hand.
That is true. Yeah, in a way, it's kind of trickier to be the hand.
It's hand,
because-
it's
because-
brain and
yeah,
brain
yeah,
versus
because
brain and brain.
there-